In 2022, there is only one word to describe dating apps: worthless. My question to any man who is still using dating apps in search of a long-term relationship or true love is, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life, really? Don't you have anything more worthwhile to do than waste time with skeezers, rooster rotation riders, and leftover 304s? I feel bad for some of you guys, especially when we consider the older woman population, who are often over 30. Especially if you live in the United States, these XX have had to be the worst individuals on the globe to date. Because they think they are valuable and have something to offer a man, the majority of these women have absurd dating standards. I'm sorry to break the news to you, ladies, but that ship left port as soon as you turn 30, because we are aware that you are likely past your prime and are unable to have healthy children as you age. Most men do not hanker after XX who are over 30. Furthermore, as you age, it costs us more to maintain your lifestyle even while you're deteriorating by the hour, so I don't know what gave these women the idea that they were all that. I truly know who is responsible though. In the hopes that these women will finally give them a piece of actual peace leave, beta male simps gather online to compete for internet peace leave points. They elevate these women to the status of goddesses and exaggerate their sense of self to the extent that they believe that by speaking to us, they are benefiting men. Some of these ladies have mind-boggling entitlement, to put it mildly, and they wonder why no one wants to settle down and marry them. You know, men. Underneath all of that is I've had my fun, and now it's time to settle down. You have to make 6 figures, and you have to be 6'6" tall, and if you can't take me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my finest. In actuality, the majority of these women are alone. Yes, gentlemen, you were very mistaken if you believed that single women over 30 had the upper hand in life. The great majority of them had to be Dino chicken nuggets and Tombstone pizza for dinner before returning to their chilly and lonely flat with their 3 children from 5 different baby fathers. Some of them are just a flat tire away from bankruptcy. Others are forced to resort to throwing that wet vice grip on Mr. Earl in order to collect the money they need to get by for the month because they are struggling to pay their rent and utilities bills. Because they don't have a man in their lives, some of these older women are staying with their parents and consuming their food. You see, you think these ladies are succeeding in life when you see them putting their best self forward on dating apps to entice and attract hope strategists. They don't appear to be wailing about how hopeless and unfulfilling their lives are. You won't see them balling up and sobbing. What you see is a conceited and self-centered narcissist who believes her trash doesn't stink and who believes she is superior to you, but in fact she is anxious to find any wealthy man to settle down with her and relieve her of her financial woes. But what's this? No one is gullible enough to accept that bargain and stake everything on a 3 or 4. These ladies are unaware that the guys they desire now were neglected 20 years ago when they were younger and were rejected and put on the back burner. These men recall how powerful and independent these ladies were back when they didn't require a man. They observed the older women on the rooster rotation enjoying themselves and living life to the fullest while being passed around by Chad and Tyrone. And these individuals witnessed these elderly gremlins being flown to Dubai to receive sheikh treatment. These men witnessed you living your life to the fullest. Passport brothers are now getting passports and traveling abroad to explore whether there are any other opportunities for women. Men are rejecting contemporary XX and going their own way instead. Some of our brothers are adopting the monastic lifestyle in order to improve their lives. Other men are living the free agent lifestyle and choosing to live life for themselves without committing. Men are choosing to adopt a different approach as they become aware of the misinformation and lies they have been told about women. And as a result, there are steadily fewer men available for these older women. That explains why they now moan about where all the nice men have disappeared. Well, darling, you weren't ready to settle down when all the decent men got married in their 20s and 30s. The remainder of the nice men were introduced to the RP after you flipped up their life and were transformed into chilly brothers. Some got divorced and realized women aren't worth it. Ladies, that is where the decent men are. Because you can't obtain what you want anymore and can clearly see that you're going to die alone, you produce the same creatures that you despise and hate. This is the depressing reality of older women using dating apps who are unable to get a relationship. After giving her finest years to the top geese and sugar daddies in her prime, no man wants to marry these women up and take on their baggage and deadweight. These ladies believe that men are uninformed and stupid about what is happening to the point where it is currently amusing. They think that if they simply sign up for a dating app, guys would find them and commit. No, those times are no more, love. Most of these women are just waiting for a box of wine, dinner with their pets, and a lonely bed in which to cry themselves to sleep. And in my opinion, any man who prevents an older XEX from passing away alone is a monkey simp. Over 30, there are no good XXs. Only pain, debt, mental diseases, children from another man, addiction, and the list goes on. So, Mr. Hope Strategist, I ask you, why would you accept that offer? But tell you what, why just believe me? Wouldn't it be more beneficial to learn what other people think about dating after 30? Yes, it would, so let me share what others have to say about dating beyond 30 with you. The phrase, dating over 30 is hard, is taken from a Reddit post. Let's hear what she has to say, please. The number of sincere men shrank. By the ages of 25 to 35, the males who desired to start families would have wed. No matter what they claim to believe in or what conservative values they list under beliefs, males on dating apps tend to choose sex. Finding an emotional, mental, and intellectual connection is more difficult because it is more difficult to distinguish sincere men from those who are just in it for the bedroom fun. Meeting up with girlfriends for exercise and listening to music to mend a broken heart from previous breakups. Dating apps have now evolved into a process of meticulous screening to ensure that I only spend my time on people who are genuinely interested in me as a person and want a relationship. If a woman in her early 30s finds this challenging, just think how much more challenging it will be for women in their 40s and 50s. What have I said to you guys? Every year it gets harder since there are less and fewer men in the world. Since the nice guys had wives by an earlier age, as I already mentioned, these women are only getting stiff, hard pipe in their wet vice grips. The older they become, the less men want to marry them up, so that is all they are getting. For the majority of these women, it's over once they reach their mid-30s. They simply end up in the streets like dried up, flavorless bubble gum that is spit out. And since they brought this on themselves, one more, gentlemen. This one is a little different because it isn't online in the traditional sense, but rather a matchmaker illustrating the misery of dating for ladies over 30. Why dating in your 30s and 40s can be pure hell is the headline of the section of the article that was taken from Chatelane.com. Let's get started. The bulk of the women who applied for my job were in their 30s and 40s and had wonderful lifestyles. They were doing fantastically well in their professional and creative endeavors, and many of them were homeowners. They were leaders in the fields of medicine, law, advertising, business, writing, politics, and power. But all their efforts, they were unable to find love. These women were tired of spending all day on Tinder swiping. I'm done with Ocupid's flakes and Harmony's crickets. I'm tired of being missiled by well-intentioned family and friends. They were prepared to find love, establish themselves, and perhaps have a family. Unfortunately, there remained one obstacle to operating the ideal dating agency. Not enough men in their 30s and 40s signed up. Most of those who did wanted to date 20-something women. If you've ever been unhappily alone for longer than a few months, you already know how uneven the dating landscape is. The youthful, slender, tall, and objectively beautiful are generally valued by individuals of all ages, shapes, sizes, and appearances. Ageism in dating is particularly prevalent among straight men. Men in their 50s and 60s have told me the age at which they should stop dating women is 33. You folks ought to offer me my flowers, in my opinion. Damn much everything I've mentioned can be seen in these two pieces to demonstrate that, regardless of wealth or lack thereof, for the majority of these women, 30 and beyond is the end of the road. Certain soldiers will occasionally marry one of these women, but the most of them will have to spend the final 40 years of their lives alone and alone. When reality sets in and these women realize that taking the CC and not locating and remaining with their husbands was a tremendous mistake, don't be surprised to see them trying to make ends meet or save for their retirement. All I can say, though, is that since you made your bed, you must now lie in it, ladies.